Okay.
All right. So let me go back. So this is our Money Moves Academy, Financial Freedom Lab 2025. All right. I'm going to make sure. I'm going to just mute everybody. There we go. So this is our introduction to money and wellness. Your journey to financial freedom begins here. Ladies, if you decide you're hungry, you want some fruit, knock yourself out. Okay. So today, um, we're going to speak on just a couple of things. We're not going to go too deep. I just want to introduce myself. I'm Dana Mack. I'm a mindset coach, educator, consultant, wellness practitioner, and author. My journey in wellness began in 1998 when I started practicing yoga, and then I got certified in 2016 um, here in Pasadena. And it's been a beautiful blessing to me. In my consulting firm, I focus on health and wellness. And with my foundation, we use the 8 dimensions of wellness. One of those pillars is financial. And so today, that's what we'll be touching on in the 8 dimensions of wellness. We'll be looking at the financial piece, okay? So everything that we know about money sometimes ain't true, ain't accurate. And our mindsets with money sometimes are a little bit skewed because we've learned those things from those who raised us, our parents, their parents, and sometimes the information just was not right, exact, clear, or true. So in this session, we're going to talk about our mindset before we get into the money, because if our mindset is not right, we really don't have a leg to stand on. So we're going to shift our thinking, and anything that we may have thought, we're going to challenge that, and then we're going to move forward with some new beliefs and ideas. And from there, we're going to look at 2 vehicles as far as savings that we can start to put our money in addition to a budget. Because with nothing else going forward, with anything that we're going to learn, if we don't know how to budget, it's just a waste of our time. Okay. We all on the same page? Yeah. All right. Moving forward. Okay. So, mindset and money. Why does your mindset matter? Well, how many times have we heard money don't grow on trees? Right. Or that, I don't have money for that. Or, we use that word all the time. This is like the no word, broke. I'm broke. You know, our relationship with money is going to always be at the forefront of anything that we want to do that has to do with money, has to do with savings, has to do with anything that we want to do with our finances. So if our parents, I remember my mom was always like, we shopped at what was that store down there on Orange Grove? And it was Orange Grove and Los Robles, and it had all the cheap food. This is before 99 cent store came, and then everything was like off brand. Like my mom had to shop there.
Oh, what store was that?
Oh, Jewel Tea.
Jewel tea.
So when you bag your own groceries at the end, do it to you.
And I remember the Kool-Aid was like, it wasn't real Kool-Aid, whatever.
No,
But she had to make that dollar stretch. And even though, we lived in a home, my mom was always like, she worked several jobs, but it was never enough money. Right. And even in the conversations, even if she could do something, it was like that idea was like, we just don't have enough. So that carries on into when you start working with your money, like you thinking the same thing, don't have enough. And that carries on from generation to generation unless we change it. But it's going to start with you being introduced to somebody in your life. It could have been when you were younger that had a different idea about money. And then you start going, well, that doesn't even match what I learned from my mom, my dad, or whatever. And you see that they're pretty prosperous or they're successful, at least in our eyes. You know what I mean? And so it makes you start to question what you've learned. So, talking today, when we start with mindset, it's about what have I been telling myself about money that I picked up along the way that I might need to change in order to create this new financial freedom that I'm going to create for myself. Okay. We have to recognize that. So that comes with self-awareness. So we're going to watch a video. This young lady here her name is Ashley Fox. I've learned how to invest just watching her videos and seeing her on Instagram. So this is a short little videos and it just says 3 ways to change your mindset. Let me push play.
Here are 3 key ways to change your mindset around money. The first thing you need to do is change your vocabulary. Stop being so negative. You are perfectly fine where you are. Who you are today has gotten you this far, but in order to become somebody different, you just have to do different things, and that is okay. Stop calling yourself broke. You're not broke. You're overcoming cash flow problems. You're not broke. You're going through a financial transition, and that is perfectly fine, but you can't keep talking down on yourself expecting great things to come about. What happens is, think about what you're thinking about. It all starts with a thought that then triggers an emotion, and that emotion then invokes an action. The reason you're not taking action is because you're not feeling good, but you're not feeling good because you're so negative about money. Change the way you think about money and let money change your life. The second thing I would say is let go of that fixed mindset. Yes, it's great that you have a good job. Yes, you're making good money. Yes, you started that business, but what about what's next? Talk about that next level, become that next level you, and really start to focus on what you need to do to take that ceiling off. So many times we put a ceiling on our own potential. Understand that you don't have limited opportunities. You have unlimited opportunities. So take off that cap and do more, especially if you want more and because you ultimately deserve more. And the third and final thing that I would say is let go of reality and start focusing on your desires. So often we say what we want to have, but we contradict those thoughts. Oh, I want to be wealthy, but I'm in debt. Oh, I want to start that business, but I have a job, right? So many times we have all of these limiting beliefs that are stopping us from obtaining what it is we desire. Let go of reality. Who cares where you are now? I care about who you're going to be tomorrow. So focus on that person. Focus on that mentality, change your level of thinking, change the way you're talking about yourself, because you are the only reason that you're not in the position that you want to be financially. You are stopping you. So tell the little you to sit down, the person that's talking to you and making you feel like you're not worthy. Tell that little you've got this because you are capable, and focus on that. Focus on your desire so that you can ultimately change your current reality.
Did anything she said resonate with anybody?
Yep.
Okay. Stace, give me some feedback. What do you think?
It's your mindset. It's how you think. But you are your destiny. You can control where you want to be and how you want to live. And if you think negative, the universe doesn't know that I'm broke. You're going to be broke. You got to say, the money's coming, the abundance. You got to think positive for the money to
So
come.
affirmations.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I have done that before.
Yes.
And I one day I said, I need some checks coming through. Checks was coming through out of the blue, like,
because it's an energy. It's an energy. So when we talk about how to change our mindset, it's all about us changing the way that we speak to ourselves, because only you could hear you. You know what's going on in here. And sometimes we use the broke because we don't want nobody checking our pockets. You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, I'm broke, like, but you putting that energy out there that, okay,
you're gonna be broke.
Universe says, oh, that's what you like? All right, got you. So it's about changing how we speak about money. So that is first and foremost, we start with mindset. And that's with anything that you're gonna start with, embark on. It doesn't even matter if your mindset is not wrapped around the new idea, whatever it could be, then you're basically gonna have more challenges and obstacles trying to attain said thing, because the mindset has not been challenged to have a paradigm shift. So that's why this is important. Before we get into it, we got to know what it is that we have to, rectify.
Okay.
Yes.
It's like I said, you can speak life or you can speak death. So you got to speak
life and death is in the tongue. Absolutely.
You have to speak life into everything you do.
Yep. So I'm going to, let's go to next one. So now we're going to look at money blocks. Money blocks is the things that block us from having the abundance. So before we can move forward financially, we have to look at what might be holding us back. Sometimes those are the unconscious beliefs that we don't even know we hold. Remember, we talked about how our parents raised us, the things that they said or how they felt about money or lack of money. And we carried that with us. But sometimes we have a fear. You can sabotage yourself from making more money just because you feel like you don't deserve to have more money. We can sabotage ourselves because we don't want to challenge what we know about what we're able to do, instead of saying, you know, I might feel this way about money, but I'm still going to challenge myself to do something different. So it's still up to us to think about it in a different way, but we have to know what emotions surround money that keep us from making more money, what ideas are permeating our taking action on what we need to do to get to the next level. That could be with our saving, that could be with our spending, that could be with investing. And these blocks often, again, stem from childhood messages or past financial trauma. So they can show up in a lot of ways. Our goal is to be aware and start to ask ourselves questions. That's why it's important to keep a journal. And going forward, as we continue to do these classes, I would encourage you to keep a journal so you can make any notes of any revelations that you might have, any aha moments, but things are going to help push you into another direction as far as where you want to go with your financial goals. Okay. So here's a brief video. How do we clear money blocks? If we've got abundance blocks, what do we do to clear them? I like Christy Sheldon. She's got a lot of videos on YouTube, some that are longer than this one, that help you to get to the root. So we're going to watch her in action. And maybe yourself, as she's talking to this gentleman, think yourself, like, well, how could this work for me? Or what types of things does this bring up for me? And maybe this can be the key for you, making some changes in how you think about money.
Step one is always connect to the like. I literally can't emphasize it enough. I have this, I will say ABC, always be connected, because you can't feel fear in the same way if you're actually connected to an expanded state, okay? You imagine light coming in your body from above, and you imagine light coming in from below, and you expand it out like a big sunshine. Now, the reason we want all flows opening, okay? You're an infinite being, and you just don't flow one way, right? Like you flow from every direction. So you're bringing in light from everywhere, and then you're expanding it out. So your energy is giving and receiving simultaneously. Okay, so that's step one. And step two, then ask a question. And the question might be, I'm feeling this feeling. What's the first age that I ever felt that? What is the emotion attached to it? Now, sometimes you won't get an answer, and that's fine. We're just trying to kind of label it enough so that we can find it, okay? It's really just for our ability, we just want to scope it out. So ask a question. What's the first age I felt this? Who did I duplicate it from?
We're talking about money.
What's the emotion I'm feeling? Where is it in, on, or around my body? And then once you kind of locate it, you bring in the light. So you just imagine light coming in into that part of your body. And you're just saying, I clear and transmute it, which basically is, you're basically just setting the intention. Hey, this thing has to leave now. So step 4 is basically this light that we're connected to, which is really your infinite self, okay? Your infinite self can decide something and make it be different, okay? So if you bring in this higher energy, this higher vibration, which is like love and compassion and healing and whatever word you want to call that, okay? God, right? When you bring that energy in, it instantly kind of starts breaking up that denseness of that old story. The step 5 is I like to fill in with something positive. So let's just say the belief was I don't feel supported. So then I do a step 5, I do what would it take? Now I do what would it take for me to feel completely and totally supported? Like if that was my belief. I notice that sometimes when people do that, this is my personal thing of watching so many people's energy, okay? When people sometimes do the I am statements, like I am powerful, I am this, I am whatever, they don't always fully believe it, right? So I like to say, what would it take? So what would it take for an extra $1 million idea to show up in my world? When I'm saying what would it take, it's like I'm expanding my energy out into the universe to allow unlimited possibilities to show back up. So if I say, what would it take for me to feel supported? I'm saying, universe, please bring me 20,000 different ways that I can feel supported today. Okay, so there's no limit on the what would it take. You're just you're throwing it out there from this really cool kind of positive space, and you're letting it just sort of, come back into your world. Yeah. What's something you want to get rid of in your life? What's a block? Money, love.
Money's a block. Money's a block.
Okay. What's the normal pattern? Is it you spend too much? You don't make enough? Credit card debt? Like where's the...
It's that I have a goal. I meet the goal, and then it still seems not enough.
So you feel inside not enoughness. Is that what you're saying? Or you mean it's literally not enough?
That's related.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to just close your eyes for a minute so you can just kind of tune in without, okay. So just think of connecting to the light, bringing in light from above and below, and just kind of expand your energy back out. Okay. So what's the first age that you felt not enoughness? Okay.
And we can follow along with her, and you can think too,
Okay.
if that comes up for you.
Is that from mom's energy? Dad's energy? Your energy?
That's church.
Okay. And okay. So what is the main emotion you're feeling tied to not enoughness?
The energy that I go for there is
Like emotion.
I feel sad. I feel afraid that I'll never get to that. I feel
That's powerful.
wrong.
Okay. So let's bring in, where do you feel that in, on, and around your body?
Here.
Okay. So take your energy into that spot. So that just means there's lots of thought forms kind of hooked in there, stories. That's where you stored it. If we don't delete things, we store it usually in our body. So bring in a lot of light from above and below. I'm just kind of thinking I'm going to clear and transmute it across all time, dimensions, space, and reality. I'm going to clear and transmute it across all time, dimensions, space, and reality. Now, I'm not sure if he's aware of this, so I'm going to just bring it up. So part of that energy also ties back in behind your heart. And could you notice that? Yeah. So the pattern is usually it'll start in one place and then it worms its way other places. Okay. So you kind of follow it around. So bring in some more light behind your heart. Clear and transmute that across all time, dimension, space, and reality. Clear and transmute it. And then just keep bringing in light until you feel like it's not really there. Okay. All right. So just go ahead and open your eyes. Now I want you to think of that incident again. Okay. So I want you to think of not enoughness, 6 years old. Does it feel different when you go to think about it right now?
It feels like a movie.
Yeah. You see, so basically when it's totally out of your system, it's just neutral and it's somewhere else. Okay. So now think of the pattern that you were talking about earlier of not feeling enoughness. See, I'm watching his energy. It's hard for you to kind of grab that energy, right? It seems harder. It's not as, yeah. You like he can't find his problem anymore. You're like, what's my problem? I don't have it.
Thank you, HYSA.
So it seems like something so very simple, but we have to remember money is energy too. So if we have all these things in us that's blocking us learning about money or handling money in a certain way, keeping money, multiplying our money, those blocks are what's keeping us from going to the next level. So again, I would encourage you, all these things that I have, I'm going to make available to you, to do that practice when we're not in this setting, just to find out, what age did you adopt these blocks? What age did you start to feel this certain way about money? And what can I do now to release it so that the abundance can flow? And I focused on the mindset and the blocks because, again, with everything that we plan to do within the academy and making these money moves, if we're not moving the energy, the money is only going to be stagnant. So whatever it is that we're currently doing, that will be where we are until we ask ourselves some of these very important questions. Okay, so are we all on board? Is everybody on board with all that information? All right, so let's keep it moving. I'm enjoying this. So with the mindset and with the blocks, with clearing that, and even before we clear that, we got to get ourselves consistently on board with having a budget. Let me hear a yes, that's me. If you don't want a budget, writing down no paper, I don't want to look at these numbers. This is just not something I want to spend my day doing. Raise your hand if that's you, or come off mute and say, yes, that's me. Or if you actually like budgeting, because there might be some that like to pull out those Excel spreadsheets. I know I don't. I know that I don't. But the good thing about a budget is it's your roadmap. You know where the money's going, and you know where it's coming from, and you know how to direct it. So it's not about restricting you. It's about getting clarity about your money. It shows where your money goes. It keeps your goals on track, and it helps you build wealth step by step. So one thing's for certain, two things for sure. If you aren't making good decisions with budgeting with the money you do have, when that floodgate opens and you get the more money coming, it's going to be the same thing. Because when we get more money, we tend to spend more, right? And that's a scientific, like a phenomenon. And I'll get the name for you. But when more money comes in, we'll spend more, without a doubt. So we want to get on a budget. And when you budget, you tell your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. Okay. And so this guy here, his name is Steven. He was a school teacher who became a millionaire. He became a millionaire by not only budgeting, but learning how to invest. In our in the lab and meetings that we'll have coming up after we get our foundation down, we're going to be learning how to do the very things that he teaches. And I would encourage you to follow him on Instagram. His Instagram is call CALL2TO LEAP LEAP. But this here, he teaches us how to track and how to start a budget.
Hey again, it's Steve here, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about the 3.
And we won't be watching the full thing, but just some of the basic information of how to start a budget.
Steps on how to save money and how to budget effectively. So this way you can save around $200, $300, $500 each month. And I promise you, if you use these strategies, you're able to save this amount of money each month. I'm going to also share with you guys some of the strategies that I used back when I was in my 20s to help me save my first $10,000 in my checking and savings accounts. Now, I know the topic of saving money isn't exactly sexy or exciting, but really this is the fundamental pillar of building wealth. If we learn how to save a little bit of money now, then we're going to know how to save bigger money later on. The very important message that I want everyone to learn from this video is that it's very important that we learn how to live below our means. And by saving money, learning how to budget effectively, this is a skill that everyone should learn in the beginning phases of their journey to financial freedom. All right, so without any further ado, let's get started on how to budget effectively. So step number 1, you're going to first create a budgeting sheet. I have my budgeting sheet that you see right here. You can use this sheet too. I'll leave a link down in the description description below. It's on my money cheat sheet. Or if you want to make your own, that's totally okay too. Or if you're a person who says, I just want to use maybe a budgeting app, that's totally fine too. There are a lot of great apps out there right now, like Pocket Guard, Rocket Money, Empower, YNAB, and Good Budget that you can totally download. Or if you just want to do things manually, then I guess this budget sheet is for you. And remember, I try my best to keep things extremely simple here. I believe that the more complex something is, the less chance that someone is actually going to take action on it. So this spreadsheet that you see right here, it's super, super simple, where you can just kind of plug in your numbers and it'll give you an output of how much money you actually save on a monthly basis. So yeah, that's step number 1. Step number 2 is, once you have your budgeting sheets, is that you want to input all of your income. Now there's 2 different types of income. There's fixed and variable. What are the differences? Well, for fixed, it's going to be income maybe from your 9-to-5 job, where your paycheck is going to be the same month after month. So let's say that you're an engineer and you get $7,000 net after all taxes and everything. And that's the amount of money that you get on a monthly basis. And again, I'm trying to keep things simple here. I'm making all the numbers nice and round, so this way we can do the math easier later on. Then you're going to type in all your variable incomes. So if you have a side business, you can also put in the amount of money that you make on a monthly basis. So I'm on January right now, right? For me, I used to tutor after school. I used to be a public school teacher, for those of you who don't know, and I would make around a couple $1,000s just by tutoring like 2-3 hours after school each day. So you can put that in. If you are already investing in the stock market, maybe you're selling covered calls or cash secured puts, you're collecting dividends, you can also put this inside here too. And lastly, if you have a high yield savings account that's already generating interest for you on a monthly basis, you can also put this in. If you're someone who doesn't have a high yield savings account already, then I highly encourage everyone watching this to get one right now, especially because we are in a high interest rate environment right now. So instead of putting your money in Chase, Wells Fargo, or Bank of America, where you only get 0.01% interest, you could be getting anywhere from 4 to 5% interest right now. If you want to check out my favorite high yield savings accounts, I'll leave a link down below so you can use my affiliate links. Again, this helps support my channel. If you use these links, it doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does give me a little bit of commission when you guys use my links. So thank you so much. Once you put in your income, awesome, then we can move on to step number 3. Step number 3 is going to take a little bit of a longer time, but I mean, we just have to do it, right? So what you're going to have to do now is you're going to go into all of your bank statements, all your credit card bills. So for me, I use American Express for all my restaurants and groceries because I save the most there. And then I use my Capital One Venture X for all my travel expenses, such as getting hotels and booking flights. And then number 3, the most used card I use is, I believe, the American Express Amazon Prime card. And
so we won't continue with the budget video, but I will share that. And then I did download the budget tracker. I have a good friend, Ebony. She's very good on Excel. She's making one just for the group as well. So we'll have the one that Stephen makes, and then we'll have the one that Ebony is making for us as well. This video I will make available for you to watch, at some other time. But again, with the goals that we have moving forward, we want to have a budget. And he did talk about the high yield savings account, and we're going to get into the 2 different savings vehicles that are the highlight of today's class, other than the budget. Because again, that's the non-sexy piece. But the sexy piece is the high yield savings account. So what is a high yield savings account? Well, it offers much higher interest than a typical savings account. It's FDIC insured, it's safe and secure, great for an emergency fund, perfect for short-term savings goals. So think of it as having your money work for you while you sleep. So I'll go here first.
What's up?
On your regular account where he just named, like Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase, any of the banks that we can really see when we're driving around the city, This is the percentage that you are getting on your money. So it can be 0 to 0.39% or 0.59%. That's the highest currently, because I checked the amounts. But I know at my Bank of America, it's 0.1% for the savings account that's there. This is what the traditional savings account is giving you. And they are using your money to make money. So this account grows slower than a cactus in the winter. Now, in comparison, a high yield savings account, you put your money in this. Now you got your money doing cartwheels. The coins is doing cartwheels. So this is a big difference. And this, you're going to see a return on the money that you put in the bank. So at that point, you're thinking, do I really need to have my money in the mattress? No, because you need to have your money making money so that it can work for you. Okay, so let me go back to Vivian. This is another person that I follow. I also have her book. It's called Rich as Fuck. And it's a really good book to help you in the beginning stages of, again, learning how to invest, learning what to do with the money. So she talks about how to open a high yield savings account. Why do we not know about how? You might know about a high yield savings account. I know I didn't know about a high yield savings account. My mom, my dad, the adults in my family, they never told me that all you have to do was put your money over here and it's going to make a big difference in the returns that you're going to see every single month. So let's hear a little bit about what you need to know as far as what she said your bank is screwing you. So let me go back and
what's up, besties? Today, we're going to cover one of the biggest money mistakes that most people are making. And as your rich BFF and your favorite Wall Street girly, I'm going to show you how to avoid it. Lots of people are getting swindled by their banks because they don't know what a high yield savings account is. But you're about to learn what they are, why you need one, and how to get one. Please like, comment, and subscribe so that you can be better with money. Let's get to it. If you're a person who lives and spends money, you likely have a checking account and a savings account. And you can get these at banks or credit unions. But when you put money into a savings account, you're essentially giving the bank or a credit union a loan. They'll then turn around and lend that money to people. And you better believe they're charging those people interest. Then, to pay you for parking your money there, traditional brick and mortar banks will pay you on average about 0.06% in interest each year. Meaning if you put $100 into a savings account, at the end of the year, you'll have $100.06. Ew. In case you couldn't tell, that's not a lot of money, especially when banks are lending out your money for much, much more. But newer online savings accounts are offering much higher yields, aka more interest. Places like Marcus by Goldman Sachs, Wealthfront, Amex High Yield, Ally Financial, and SoFi are offering savings accounts with yields currently ranging somewhere between 1.5 to 2.25%.
So I will say that's an old video because the current rates, the highest is 4.50, okay? So that's not actually true.
What's up, besties? Today we're going to cover one of the to 2.25%, right now being September 2022. In fact, as I'm sure you've heard, interest rates are currently on the rise, and that usually means bad news for us consumers, but not when it comes to savings accounts. As rates go up, so will the interest on your high yield savings account. And listen. I get it. High yield savings account may not be the one thing that makes you rich, but it is a way better place to stow away your savings and emergency fund than a traditional bank. And I already know what you're thinking. Which one is the best one? I gotta have the best. I want the highest yielding of the high yield savings accounts. And honestly, it doesn't really matter. The yields they offer will fluctuate up and down depending on rates, and I wouldn't sign up for any one account just because they currently have the highest rate. What's more important is that you get one in the first place. Do not get paralysis by analysis. Just pick one. Pick the brand that has the best user interface that you're comfortable with, and if you need suggestions, just Google high yield savings accounts NerdWallet. and sign up for one of the high yield savings accounts listed. Personally, I have accounts with Marcus by Goldman Sachs, American Express High Yield, and Wealthfront. I like to use one account as my true 3 to 6 months of living expenses emergency fund, another to save for my wedding, and last to save for the down payment on another home. And do not worry, opening one of these is not that hard. Once you've decided which provider to use, you'll just submit an application online. In most cases, it should only take 10 minutes or so. You'll provide the institution with your full name, your address, your telephone number, an email address, and your social security number. You will also need to provide detailed information from your driver's license, and if you don't have a photo of your license, or if you don't have one at all, a passport or any other government-issued photo ID will be fine. Once that's all done, all you have to do is transfer money from your old savings account into your new high-yield savings account, and you'll be earning more interest in no time. Good luck, and I hope this helps.
So here are some examples of different companies that offer high yield savings account. And some of these you're very familiar with. Barclays, Discover offers them, American Express, Citibank, SoFi, Western Alliance, and Capital One. I would steer clear of this one here for certain reasons we can discuss later, but these are some of the examples here. So she also talked about NerdWallet, and I'm going to show you what comes up. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to show you what comes up when you go to NerdWallet so that you can see exactly what would happen when you put that in. Let's see. So when you type that in, I will share my screen back with you again. When you type in high yield savings account NerdWallet, this is what will come up. They're going to show you what their rating is. So 4 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5. And some of them, Open Bank is a 4.9. But what you want to look at is what is the APY, right? So you see a 3.5. They let you know if there's any bonuses to sign up. Barclays has a 3.9 with 0 minimum balance. SoFi has a 4.5. They have a $300 bonus, and you can boost it to like 0.7% on your savings. Terms apply. Open Bank 4.2, 4.3, American Express 3.5, Citibank 4.0, 3.5 for Discover. So it lets you know all the top ones when you pull this up. If you click on American Express, it'll show you Can you guys see this? See the little piggy there? Okay. So if you scroll down, it'll tell you, like say if we put 15, let's see, say we put 15,000 in this account. In 1 year, based upon this 3.5%, you'd made $525. Now, remember the other one? Like I told you, my Bank of America is 0.1% in that savings account, right? The top for those type of traditional accounts was a 3.9 or 5.9. It's still not 3.5 or some of the other ones that we saw that were 4.5 and 4%. In 3 years, look what's happened in 5 years. So already we're learning that just by getting a different type of account, taking the money from here, putting it over here, we've already made some money and we really did nothing. So this is why I wanted to start with a high yield savings account and the budgeting, because now we've got some extra funds to do something with, which when we talk further in some of our other courses, we'll be talking about investing the money. But here you see, we've got some extra cash flow just by putting our money in a different savings vehicle. Now, the only thing that I'm going to say about money market accounts, because I didn't do much on it, is that when you open a brokerage account, which you would do when you want to invest in the stock market, a money market account would be inside of one of your brokerage accounts. But currently I have Fidelity and their percentage rate is, I think, 2.64. Still not as high as this high yield savings account. And that you can use for short term, like if you could have both of them. But instead of having your money just sitting in the bank, you could have it in a money market fund, where the difference is you can have checks, right? For the money market account, you can have a checking and a savings, but they can give you actual checks. Whereas these high yield savings accounts are just that. It's a savings account. But if you do the money market account, it would be inside of a brokerage account. And I will show some examples of those. Are like Navy Federal, Fidelity, E-Trade, Goldman Sachs, or Vanguard. So the goal for this course, number one, the budget. Number two, if you haven't already, opening your high yield savings account. And here's a little quote. If you want to be financially free, you need to become a different person than you are today and let go of whatever has held you back in the past. Only we know that personally. And that's why we want to have our Money Moves journal, so that we can make notes and jot down where do we need to start. Okay. And again, when we look at the 8 dimensions of wellness, self-care is a balance of many aspects of your well-being. So you see, we've got the physical. Some of you guys joined me for yoga this morning. Some of you guys have joined me in the past when we've had the yoga retreats here. We've got the social, we have spiritual. What we're focusing on is financial, that piece there. Satisfaction with current and future financial situations. So we want to get to that where we feel like we can be free and make some of the moves that we've really wanted to make. Sometimes it's the knowledge where we don't know. We might have the bread, but we don't know how to successfully or effectively invest it or what to do with it, because we're not sure if we can trust those around us, or where do we go to get this information. Proximity is everything. So in your circle outside of the one that we are currently in, if you know those who talk about, finances, you can tell who is successful in doing it or not. Yes, there are charlatans out there. There are people whose main goal is to swindle, but we are old enough to be discerning and understanding and ask questions and do our due diligence to get information that helps us to go to that next level. That's the important piece. And I like to share my own high yield savings account so that you can see I'm not just talking about it, I'm also doing it. So I'm going to pull that up. Does anybody have any questions so far or comments? No?
A lot of good information.
A lot of good information. So again, it's like the pastor was talking about in our sweet friend Felicia's homegoing, where he said receipts, they do matter. They do matter. And so I want to show you. Let's see. Just let me pull it out. Savings accounts. Okay, so this is me being transparent so that you can see. Let me know when you can see my screen. Okay. Can you see the screen? So this is my American Express high yield savings account. So you can see year to date, this is what I've made. The current APY, we saw that online, so we know it's a fact that this is the amount that they are offering, right? So you can see, let's start with January. January, do you see the amount that I got? $65.14. February, $64.60. March, so you see every month there's a dividend being paid out to me. And as long as I have money in there, it's going to keep happening. If this was in the American Express, in the Bank of America account with 0.01%, again, I would have made what? About $2? So you can see there's a difference between having a high yield savings account and not. And I can pull up that one also to give you a good comparison as to why having a high yield savings account is a better vehicle to have our money in when we are looking to plan for our future. And so let's go back to the slideshow. Let me share. So next steps for what we're doing, you'll be big enough soon enough. We're in that and we're making things happen. So when we recap, we talked about money mindsets, how it shapes everything that we are looking to do. We looked at how to remove our limiting beliefs. And I'm going to give you a call to action. Your CTA is going to be you identifying your number one block, and you're going to replace it with a new belief. And that's what you can write in your Money Moves Academy journal. Having a budget is our foundation. There's nothing that we can do to move from one level to the next that's not going to require us having a budget, okay? And high yield savings account, and I talked a little bit about the money marketing accounts or the money marketing funds, and they are the first building blocks to us building this generational wealth. So we're definitely going to stay connected. This is me, Seeing Real Success. My IG here is Seeing Real Success, and that's my number there, the business number. There's my email address, srs@seeingrealsuccess.com. And this is the first out of many. I hope that we can continue to do this. This is something that I am doing just because I have a love for you, my girls, and I want to see us all win. I want to see us go to levels where we are able to make behemoth type changes in the way that we instruct our kids when it comes to finances and our families as well. So I hope that you enjoyed this. All of the things that I spoke of, I will make available in an email. So if you haven't given me your email address, make sure you send that to me. And I am glad to have had you guys all here. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you learned something, please come off mute and let me know how it worked out for you. Just one feedback of what you learned today, please.
That having a regular bank account doesn't benefit. A high yield savings is better for long term and present.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Felicia. Absolutely. And I'll have that link for the Nerd Wallet for us to, share and look at where do you want to go and park your money. Michelle, how about you?
Yes.
Come off mute. So anything that you learned today that was beneficial that you can take away?
Yes, I need to get it together and like you said, invest in high
Yield savings account.
high yield savings. But yes, I do. I need to do better because I don't manage my money good. I'm the shopper, when I see some, oh, that looks pretty because it looked pretty, I want it, and I have to stop.
Yes.
I have to, now I'm trying to be mindful and let myself know that no, it's a want, it's not a need.
Absolutely.
So I've learned, like you said, speak it into existence.
Yes. And the one thing that I spoke about yesterday, just in a brief conversation, this is a safe space. We are all at different levels or aspects or on our money journey. But I want to make it clear that this is a space where we can get the information, talk about where we want to go, but also to not feel judged or like, oh, I need to get it together in a way that I'm in comparison with someone. No, this is a safe space. And I want everyone who comes into the space to feel like they can share, they can be open and vulnerable without being judged. So let's make that one of our key motivators for having this space, is that you are safe here and we're going to do this together. All right. And I thank you for your time. I thank you for showing up for yourself. And I will see you next Sunday.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks a million.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Dana. I
Yes.
appreciate all your information.
Yeah.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Thank
Stacey.
you.
Hey,
Thank you.
Thank you.
I didn't know you was there.
Yeah, girl, I was doing that yoga.
Okay. And I'm talking about some Zumba.
Okay. See you guys
Zumba
later.
live fast.
Okay, thanks a million for
Yes.
All
everything.
righty.
Bye-bye.
Looking
Bye-bye.
forward to the email, Dana. I want the information. I want all the information in the email, so I'll be watching my
Absolutely.
email.
I got you.
Looking forward to it.
We're gonna make this thing
Okay.
rock, you guys. I'm so excited that you guys are here. I love
You
you.
know, the teacher, I follow him too on Instagram, and I screenshot everything he talks
Yeah.
about. But my fear is fear of unknown, not knowing where to start, not trusting
Yes.
where to put my money, you know, and then it disappears, or, you know,
Right.
just, you know, seeing and listening to all the things that you're saying is like giving me confirmation of, yeah, I'm in the right direction. I'm going on the right path. So
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm looking into the high yield savings. Like I told you, I have Fidelity already, but I got to start doing the investment part. That's the unknown. I need to listen and learn about all of that. So
And
I'm
so
ready.
I structured it where we're going to start, you know, with the simplest, and we're going to go to the most complex. So it's set out where we build on it. So we start here, we'll do our call to actions with this, and then we'll move forward. All right.
I'm good.
Okay.
And he gives you step by step beginning, you know, beginner investment and beginner, all the different things. I like him. He is really good. So y'all should really follow him. I screenshot everything he talk about.
Thank you for
he is
sharing.
really good.
Yes.
All right, ladies. Love you guys. I had to
love
run
you
around
too.
in this. I'm in John's Incredible Pizza, and I had to run around and find a quiet room just so I could unmute and say hi to you guys. I'm in somebody's party room. But my grandkids are all in there running around.
Yes.
All right. Love you guys. I'm going to go. Okay. Bye.
Money moves. Money moves. Yes. Oh, this was wonderful.
Bye.
Bye-bye.